birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ed. Happy birthday to you.
Well, filling the cylinder all the way would be 100% while I went to efficiency. And I didn't realize at the time, but that's hard to do at high speed. Maybe at low speed. So that's the first thing we learned from Winfield. So after the war, I decided I'd like to try that cam grinder because the cam grinder got a lot of, when the engine builder, we didn't have any engine builder, but when the guy built a good car and set some kind of records, the cam grinder would get a prize and come credit. They want to know what cam was in there. And I thought I was horning in on the Winfield business because he was nice to me. But actually, he would have helped me then, even then, because he was retired. And so later years, I started going out maybe every 6 weeks. I said, I better learn all I can from him. Because he's got so much knowledge about the old days. Do you mind if I start paying you? Because I'm learning a lot of things I'd never know otherwise. So I must have paid him about the right amount because he never said it was too much. Yeah.
Wait, that was about your education.
Yeah. So a cam grinder gets a lot of credit for someone that built a good engine, and some engine builders can make a bit bum cam look good.
When I first met Ed Iskenderian was personally going down to his shop and going out to lunch with him and his buddy that they always go out at lunch at the same place. They hang out together all the time, and had a nice lunch with him. Ed told me how Winfield taught him how to straighten camshafts with a hammer and a chisel. I said, yeah, I learned how to straighten camshafts with a hammer and a chisel. And he says, well, when we get back to the shop, I'll show you some of the first cam grinders I made that were Winfield style cam grinders. He showed me this old machine that he resurrected and made a master on it and ground cams on it. And he said, and as he progressed, got the Norton grinders and how he made the index fixtures. And I was kind of impressed with the thinking that ISKY had, because he had all these machines lined up and he had a big trough behind all the machines with water running in it. So all the machines were getting water and they were dumping water out, and it was going through a centrifuge and coming back. He always had clean water coming to the machines. And then I'm looking at everything, and on the steady rest, he had a V like this with hardwood on it instead of lead for a steady rest on the bearing journal, holding it straight. And then looking at how, I said, well, I have to tape off the bearing journals when I parkerize the camshaft so they didn't get parkerized. He says, we didn't bother with that. We're using new blanks. We parkerize the whole cam, and then we take the camshaft over here, check it for straightness, straighten it if necessary, and then we just polish the journals down. I said, don't you make them smaller? He says, we're only taking 0.5 thousandths off. It'll be okay, or not that much. So we are not making the journals undersized. And I says, you don't have any Burkos? He says, No, I might get a Burka one of these days. But all these Norton grinders that we converted over work just fine. And we made index plates for Chevys and Fords, what have you, so you could have 1 or 2 lobes on here. We don't have 16 lobes on here like we have in our catalog showing a master cam with all the lobes on it. We just use 1 or 2 lobes with an index fixture, which works pretty well. I said, yeah, they do. And then I'm walking over to where they're having push rods being made, and there's a woman rolling a push rod, and it's a little bit high, and how she straightens the push rods before they put it in the package. And she says, we've got to make sure everything is going to fit right in the engine. I says, yeah, you guys are doing a really nice job. And then I go in his office and I say, can I walk through here? He says, oh, you can step over that, it's okay. But he knows exactly where everything is in his office. And Richard, his son, says, yeah, before I go in there, be careful where you step, is what Richard said. And his other brother wasn't there. He's usually out at either Ron Shaver's place or he's playing golf with somebody, hustling up business, something. So I got to meet the whole family, basically. And everybody was cordial, everybody was nice to me.